series that I offer here on the channel and tell you a little bit more about them, kind of the backstory behind them and how they were created. And then I will include a link to them in the video itself so that you can access the playlist directly. So, I suppose you can call it a bit of a channel guide, if you will. So, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? The first series that I want to talk about is, of course, Arantheus. And I created it several months ago. I really wanted to make my own fantasy world that didn't rely on any other fairy tale realms. Now, Arantheus it's more of a storytelling series rather than one that is centered around the role play specifically, though each of them are pretty much role plays or a mixture of role play and guided visualization. It's really story driven, and I really wanted to incorporate a lot of new characters. So if you're kind of into more of, I guess you can say more of an odyssey or taking a journey through a story, that would definitely be a series that you might want to check out on my channel. I don't put them out too often because it does take a while to develop each chapter of the series, but I try to put them out between 2 to 4 weeks each time, so it just depends on the particular chapter I'm working on and what's involved. So essentially what that series is about is you are kind of taken into a new enchanted realm, and certain truths are revealed to you, and then you kind of embark upon this journey, trying to, I guess, fulfill your destiny, if you will. And for those of you who have been following it, there are going to be some twists and turns along the way that you might not be expecting. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm developing the storyline as we go along. I have quite a few things mapped out for it, but there's much more to come. In fact, I'm working on the next chapter as we speak. Alright, so the next series I wanted to talk about is my newest one, and that is Gossamer Falls. And I'm really thrilled about this particular series because it's kind of a collection of role plays and guided visualizations, but it's more centered around kind of an ambiance and an atmosphere rather than a storyline. So essentially what this one is you find yourself in a fairy tale town, a brand new fairy tale town that I've created, and each episode is going to be you kind of exploring a different shop or a different destination within the town. The town is called Gossamer Falls. And right now you're visiting, and as it progresses, it's going to get more involved, and you're going to meet more characters from Gossamer Falls and visit more locales and kind of check out the different shops. With this particular series, one of my main goals is to incorporate more ASMR triggers into them. For instance, if we do a bath shop role play, there's going to be a lot of crinkling atmosphere I'm trying to create, and I hope that I've been successful so far. But they are just amazing to create. Kind of where I got the idea for Gossamer Falls is I live in a little Spanish village, for those of you who are kind of new to the channel, and I was walking one day. I go on like these daily walks with my husband and my daughter, and I was walking and I realized that there were just all these little shops, and it's just so cozy and quaint, and I just really wanted to capture that. I really wanted to capture the little town bakery and the little characters that we have walking around here. I just thought it was, well, I say little characters, but some of them are larger than life. And it's that blended with, I saw a mini-series many years ago called The 10th Kingdom, and in that they have a little fairy tale kind of town, and it stuck with me to this day, and that's kind of where Gossamer Falls came from, was kind of an amalgamation of those two things. So, if you haven't checked it out, I'll be putting the link, of course, in the video itself that you can click on, if I can figure out how to do that. Okay, the next series I wanted to talk to you all about is my fairy tale workshop series. Now, bear in mind all of these kind of collections that I've been talking to you today about, and that I'll mention throughout the rest of the video, are all ongoing. So I'll be constantly adding to them as new ideas come up and as new roleplays kind of fit into them. So, the Fairy Tale Workshop series I started several months ago, and I've slowly but surely been trying to think of new ideas for it and been creating new videos for it. It's essentially, it started with you walking into the kind of a fairy tale institute, and you've enrolled in all of these workshops and seminars, and of course they're all enchanted and fairy tale based. So I've already uploaded a few of them, but there are more on the way. And how I got the idea for that one was I was just looking at various different workshops and stuff that were more reality based, and I thought it would kind of be a fun idea that imagine if you lived in a fairy tale realm, what kind of classes and workshops you'd be taking. So that's how that one came about. So the next series I want to talk to you about is my Elemental Fairy series. Now, this started with the wing ceremony, where you essentially chose which path you wanted to take. And it's an ongoing series. I've already done 2 of the fairies at the time of making this video. I've done the earth and the water fairy, but I will be doing others as well, and then I'll have different side or offshoot videos. Another series that I have on the channel, which isn't really anything to do with my enchanted videos, is This Week in Bloomville, and I've been doing them for, I want to say, close to a year now. They're not weekly, I just kind of do it to keep you guys updated every now and again. I think I just did my 9th episode actually, but they're just kind of weekly recaps that I do to kind of catch you up with what's going on in my life and any exciting announcements that I have, that kind of thing. So in those ones I really kind of share more about myself, and they're all either soft-spoken or whispering. Usually, sometimes I have to watch that, because if I start laughing or get kind of excited about a topic, my voice can go up. So they're kind of just relaxing little chats that I have with you guys, and I tell you a little bit more about my work. I've talked about my family in previous episodes, and where I live, and just different events that are happening. So if you wanted to have more of a personal vlog style ASMR also, every now and again, I'll do a cozy chat where that's basically where I talk about more of a broad topic. So I'll talk about, I suffer from OCD, so I'll talk about that, and I've talked about my riding career, and I've talked about various different topics. It's not so much about what's going on in my life at this moment, kind of like the week in Bloomville is. It's more of a kind of just general chat about a particular subject. So, and I do them once every, I guess just every so often, not that often, but they're fun to do, and they're usually a bit more serious though, so I suppose they're more of a therapeutic experience for me. But if you want to check those out, that's also a good way to kind of just get a sneak peek into my life, I guess, if you wanted to know more about me. Now, there are also other playlists that I have on the channel that are not ongoing, simply because essentially what I do is twice a year I do kind of enchanted getaways. So I'll do one in the summer and one in the winter, so toward the beginning of summer and then around Christmas time. So for instance, last year I did an ASMR cruise experience during the summer, and it was about 21 days, and each day essentially I upload a video in the series, and it's kind of not in real time, but it's supposed to be kind of real time simulated, I suppose. And so it kind of feels more immersive. And then last Christmas, I uploaded a winter wonderland experience where you got to go to the North Pole for almost 2 weeks. And then at the beginning of this summer, I did a week in Wonderland. It was a little over a week. It was about 8 or 9 days, I want to say. And where each day you kind of explored a different location in Wonderland. And this Christmas, I'll be having another winter-themed getaway. So I also have the playlist for those on the channel itself. And those are always a lot of fun to do. They're kind of a bit more time-consuming because every day I have to, work on different ones. I try to do it in advance, but sometimes it's just not possible. So that's why I really only do it twice a year. But they're absolutely exciting to make. They're a lot of fun, and I enjoy them immensely. So I think that's it for the channel. There have been a couple series that I've had toward the beginning of the channel that have not either not caught on, or I just haven't been happy with them. There were two, if you've been with me from the beginning, there were two series that you might remember. I had one where I was an ASMR therapist, so I would basically, or a trigger assessment therapist, so I would essentially do trigger sessions, and so I have those on the channel, and I think I did about 3 or 4 of them, and I just wasn't really, they weren't whimsical enough for me. And then I did another series that was like Tingles Through Time, where I did kind of more historically based roleplay. So I did one where I was kind of a royal court jeweler and fortune teller, and then I did another one where I kind of introduced to the series, and then I had a couple in the works, but it just didn't work out. So those were ones I've kind of discontinued, but you can find them. They're toward the beginning of the channel. If you search through the channel, you can definitely find them if that sounds interesting to you. But and then, of course, in addition to all of the video collections that I mentioned throughout this video, there are enchanted roleplays. I think I have close to 250 videos on the channel, and a vast majority of them are fairy tale or fantasy themed. So, yeah. But if you have any requests that I haven't done yet, Also, for those of you who have seen most of my videos, if there is a character or any video that I've already done and you'd like to see it again, maybe a different, not the same video of course, but maybe you'd like to see the character in a different situation, or you'd like me to revisit a particular fantasy location or whatever the case may be, let me know, and I'll definitely, I'll get to work on it. So, I hope you all enjoyed this little guide I put together, and as I said, if you have any requests, let me know, or if you have any comments. I love hearing from you guys, and thank you so much for all of your support.